Hi everybody, welcome back to my mini homestead. If you saw my short intro, it was called Bad to Worse, and this is definitely bad to worse. So if you saw my video last night, that was actually taken Friday, up till Friday afternoon. This is a continuation from probably about 5 o'clock on, and I was up here getting supper ready, and I heard my mom start yelling from downstairs, so I knew something was wrong. I turned off the food, took it off the element, and I headed downstairs. So let's go take a look, and I will show you what happened, or what she found. Okay, so this is our downstairs bedroom because of all the road work. And Mom, it even looks like it's been drying for a while. The dresser was sitting in it, pulled it out, goes back behind the chair and into the closet. You know, it goes right to the corner of the closet, Mom.
I know, I had to take the stuff out.
I wonder if there's anything underneath the shower.
That you wouldn't see.
No. We also have water here, and on the other side of this wall is our shower. So I don't know if water came up underneath there as well, because it's already drying, so who knows when this happened. But we're just waiting for them to come back. So that's what we found in the bedroom. It's a good thing that Mom came down when she did, because it already looks like some of it had dried up, so I don't know how long the water was sitting there for. We had the rain around 3 o'clock, I think it was, and I was started supper just before 5. So it's like a good 2 hours in between. Up to a couple weeks ago, that was Mom's sewing room. And if that had still been the case, then she wouldn't have gone in there. It probably would have been Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday that she would have gone in there. Meanwhile, the water would have been sitting there absorbing. So luckily, I have a shop vac, so I went in there and vacuumed up the water. Mom took some old towels and dried it all up. And then I went outside to check and see what I could find out was going on outside. Meanwhile, Mom went upstairs, got her insurance paper. Of course, the insurance company was closed because it was after 5. They did have a phone number for after-hour emergencies. So Mom called that, and they said that they would get a hold of somebody here in the valley. And they called us a short time later, and I talked to Paul, and he didn't think they had anybody that they could get out Friday night. So they'd have to wait. And it was like, okay. But he knew that we had mopped it up, and I had a small dehumidifier set up in there. But I did get a call from him, I guess an hour and a half later. And he said, you know what, our guy finished up early there in Summerland, so he's going to head over to your place. So let me show you what got done. I think his name was James. I can't remember. I feel terrible. But then everything's been so chaotic. So I'll show you what he did. So he put down a protective sheet. And then in here, you can actually see we still have some dirt on the floor. And then in here is a big old dehumidifier. He did find moisture in the far corner when he did testing. The rest was good. So our baseboards haven't swollen or anything. And then back here, you can still see we got some dirt left over from the water. And I think this may have come out after we had cleaned it up. And the, what do we got? The shower's on the other side. So that's in there. Let's just go and chat. So I should get a call from Paul on Monday. He's the one that I spoke to originally about the restoration. This should dry everything up. The water damage wasn't too bad because we found it fairly quickly, I guess you could say. But so the next part of this video that you're going to see is when I went outside Friday after this got cleaned up, just to check out what had happened there. So that's going to be Friday. And then I got up early in the morning to go back and refilm and see what was going on. You know, the next day, you just have a different attitude you think. And I also wanted to get out there because I was pretty sure they were going to come and do more work. So I did get out there and do a little bit of cleanup, not much, because, you know, we want the insurance guys to come out and that. So I'll show you what I did, and I'll show you what they did, the construction guys did out there, and then we'll have a chat. So all the mud came down there and all over here, up one of our boards. That's going to need to be cleaned up as well. It did. I mean, mud went all over here. I wasn't too worried about that. Didn't know that. And now there's mud all through here. And then it all went in to the potting shed. So lovely. Can't really tell because it's cement, which is a gray, but now it's all brown. So fun. So hills, can't really tell here, but water came down here. They put this track in here after all the flooding was happening, because the water came up and over. You can see the mud here, gone into the potting shed. I got a layer of mud in there. Mud came all through here. You can see into the pathways. This pipe stopped it somewhat. Yeah, like all this mud. None of this was here before. And all the plants seem okay. Let's go up here. Okay, a bunch of mud and dirty water here. We got to check the air conditioner out to see if it's okay. I'll have to unscrew it and take a look in there. And oh yeah, that's deep. There, let's see. Can we see anything in here? I'll have to blow it up on my computer and see. I can't tell. And yeah, mud all over the grass. Can't see it too much now. So I don't know if mud came under the deck, poured out this way, but that's kind of like it did. I'm going to take some of these off, but you can see there's mud in there, mud here, and this is all gone muddy, and you can tell mud's gone down under the deck there, and water up here. All of this is turned into mud, and this is what's all come down, and the water was just pouring down here. And then this here, I don't know if this is what caused it. Go up on our deck. Now this happened again last week, and now I'm noticing we have some soft boards here, which I did not notice before. So I don't know if mud got in here under here last time. And like all of this has come down. And all the water up here, you can see the mud. From up there, I'll go again. All of this was filled up with water. I'm not sure how high it got, because after it was raining so hard, we went inside. It was crazy high. And then all of that, I mean, look how far that one came out. And it wasn't quite as deep last week when it rained. But still, we had multiple of these last week as well. Last Friday night and Saturday night. So it's a week ago, because today's Saturday 22nd, I think it is. But all of it was just rushing down here. I mean, you can see it looks like a flood went through. Mudslide, whatever. So that is what it's looking like. And that's what's caused our flood in the downstairs bedroom. I mean, this is just crazy. So, yeah. That's where when it was pouring down and they were barricading it off up here with this Then they came down here and they drug a path out because this was all flat before. This was not a grooved, it was flat. And you can just see how the hillside has come down. And at some point here, the water came up and over. So, yeah, fun. So I pulled the step back here, and it's all mud under there. I'm going to take some of the boards off just to see how bad it really is. So you can see the dirt on the plastic that's down here, and I know that wasn't here before because I've opened this up before. So I don't know how much water came down here, but okay, so you can see the mud here. I didn't open this up because over here where our irrigation box is, you can see all the mud that has come in here. That was not like that before. And then, I mean, you can see where the mud is around where the blocks were. And then, I just took a few off. But you can tell the mud has come charging down the edge and all along. And then, I mean, you can see how deep it is there. And then over here, I'm pretty sure is where it was pouring out because we have these big blocks there. So some went, let me see. Some went down there, but not, I don't know how much. But you can see it sort of built itself up here and then poured out. There was no mud up like that on the boards. Let me see if I can turn it around. There you go. And then can't open anything here because it's got this retaining wall or whatever, but this is just, ugh! That is, I missed that. So you can tell, where's my foot? That is just, full of mud. So like I said, I'm not sure. I mean, the air conditioner does look wet on the bottom, but there's all sorts of mud. And then you can tell it came down here. Yeah, morning. It's hard to tell what's happened here. Some water came down. The gravel here was wiped away. And then dirty here, and there's a bit of mud here, not a whole lot. So I don't know. So Mom and I came out here this morning, and you can see I got this, we have this tarp pulled up here. There's another tarp there. It was down here in the hole because we were covering the ground to stop the weeds from growing. I think it's starting to rain. Great. But you can see all the mud in here, right? And you can see how far it's come up on the board there. So all this needs to be dug out. So I pulled this all out because I'm hoping the construction guys will clean this out for me. I wanted like a 2-foot gap there anyhow. But yeah. And then down here, I've got pots. The mud has gone down in there. The one thing I did do down here is I washed this tarp off because the clay was on it. And when the clay gets wet, it's just slick. And I didn't want Mom or myself falling down the hill. I was going to clean up everything else. And I thought, nope, I'm going to wait till the insurance company comes here. So let me show you what they were out here working on yesterday. So you can see how much built up that is. Yesterday, it was all level to our property. Now it's way higher. So I don't know what it's going to look like in the end. And of course, that just looks nasty there. So what they did is they put down more black mesh on what they had done yesterday. So you can see that there. And then this is for Monday's work tomorrow. And then, they brought in a bunch. They had a dump truck in here and the orange machine and the yellow machine and compounded everything. But what happened too, besides this, like this water, what came down here is what came down and through the front of the greenhouse and into the potting shed and into the garden. I think what affected our deck and all of that is what came in from up there. It either went under the deck here somehow or around the corner. We know it came around the corner, but it could have come through as well because that's all muddy. But this here, I believe, is what affected all the mud and stuff over here. Covered the hole up. Nugget's having a good little scrub there. I'm leaving the deck open so that when they come tomorrow to look at the damage, they can see all of that. So let's sit down and have a little chat. So the last couple of weeks have been very stressful, but you know, we'd gotten to the point like, okay, this is happening. We'll deal with it. We'll see what it looks like when it's done. They told us they wanted to make it look nice for us, etc. And then we had this rain and this flood, and that just like it pushed me right up and over and off the cliff. Very stressed right now because now what, right? Like we weren't planning on ripping walls out in our house. We weren't planning on having a pond in our basement. And so it's been really, really frustrating. And people drive by all the time now and they're all looking over the edge, trying to see what's going on down here. And we've lost that privacy that we had. They say they're going to replace the fence that they took out. I'm hoping we can get a 6-foot fence in. No, Nugget, no whining. Hang on, Nugget's got to come out. Okay, come here. There's Nugget. So this has been really stressful. Oh, Missy was under the deck. Of course she was. Now she wants, Nugget, you stay here. Hopefully Missy won't whine. Because I didn't even think of that. Now it's open under the deck. So she was in under the deck and checking things out. Really? You're going to start whining too? It's been really stressful to the dogs as well, right? Because they're in this tiny little pen. They're used to having the whole yard to run around in. You know, people are out here, machines are out here. And Nugget's like, how do I protect the house when, you know, there's no fence and everybody's out there? So as I was saying, it's been a really couple of stressful weeks. And we were hoping this was all going to be wrapped up in the next couple of weeks because they told us they were supposed to start paving this week and stuff like that. This is obviously going to delay it somewhat. I don't know how much. But for us now, it's not going to be over and done by the end of June because now it's our house and, you know, figuring out where the water came from and all of that kind of stuff. So our whole summer is sort of shot. I can't start doing any work in the backyard or up on the hill until the fence goes in. And they've done what they said they're going to do or, you know, whatever. So you're sort of waiting. I am working on the flower bed out front. I still got some vegetables to get in. I can work on my cut flower garden, which is way behind because of everything that's been going on. So, like I said, it's gone from bad to worse and not sure when it's going to get better. I'm expecting that people will come from the city and talk to us on Monday about everything that's happened because I did send them an email Friday night. I don't know. So we're just waiting to see. But anyhow, not how I planned on spending this summer. I planned on getting a whole bunch of beds built and getting a whole bunch of other stuff. We did finish some renos. And now it's just a matter of waiting and seeing and where we go from here. So I just want to say thanks for watching and listening to my tale of woes. And I mean, hopefully we'll have some better stuff to share soon. I will continue to show what's happening out here and what's going on with this whole wall. Nugget's gone down to check out the equipment. But I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Click that like button, even if it sucks what you're seeing. Helps with the algorithms, etc. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now from My Mini Homestead.